When words fall short, when hope feels thin, listen close, let music begin.
Hi, everybody. It's your friend Cindy, and today I have the privilege to introduce you to an amazing woman who absolutely is a friend of mine. She is a speaker, and she wrote a book called Cancer's Wake Up Call. Hello, Rebecca Ratliff.
Hello, Cindy Jordan.
So tell everyone what you speak on.
Actually, I speak on healing your life. I know the book is about cancer, but truly it's about healing your life so that you don't get cancer and so that you can have a wonderful, joyful life.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have a story? I know you do, but tell everybody your story because it's amazing.
So, um, my story started actually 10 years prior. I had colon cancer. They took care of it. It was stage 1. 10 years go by and I end up with liver cancer, and it's not stage 1. It's life threatening. I lost my ability to digest food. I was in a bad place. And when I was in the hospital hours before surgery, I prayed and asked God for my life and said, if you will allow me to live, I promise to spend my life helping other people, whether it's cancer or people that just are in need. And I went through my surgery. I survived it. And then 8 weeks after surgery, I thought I had a check the box appointment with my doctor. And I found out they wanted to do chemo. And I said, you know what? I can't do it. Every time I even think about it, it terrifies me. And all I see is the word fear printed on my forehead. So I opted not to do it. And the doctor said, you know, you don't get it. People with liver cancer, 10% live more than a year, and you're going to walk away? Well, I got nothing else for you. And with that, he got up and walked out. Within a week of doing that, I had sleepless nights because he told me in that same conversation, when we cut into you, we spread the cancer. So good luck with that. I couldn't sleep at night, and that phrase kept pouring through my head. Well, within a week of that conversation with him, a total stranger appeared at my doorstep. She was a new client of my partner's, and what she had been doing for the last 10 years was helping people heal from cancer naturally. She became my angel, my coach. She saved my life. And so with this kind of a story, I thought, you know, I really need to write a book. I need to share with other people there are options outside of Western medicine. But in the course of writing the book, I constantly ask God and my angels, just guide me. Tell me what to say. What do they need to hear? And actually, Cindy Jordan was a huge part of that because she guided me on how to actually listen so that I could write what people really needed to hear. And the book ended up being for cancer patients as well as people who were wanting to heal their life, body, mind, and spirit. And that's my story.
You know, I've seen you speak, and you bring laughter and you bring tears when you speak. You are one of the most eloquent, beautiful speakers I've ever watched,
Oh, thank you.
ever.
That means
You
a
have
lot.
a way to reach people's hearts and souls.
Mm.
You do.
And that's my intent. So I'm glad that to hear you say that. It means a lot because,
Well, you absolutely do. And there's so much fear
yeah,
attached to cancer because of the unknown.
yes. And actually, with all of the research that I've done, I went to the Advanced Mind Institute to understand how to control my mind because that's the biggest challenge for cancer patients and for people that are in crisis in their lives. Their minds take over, they spin out of control, and we need to take control of our minds because our minds control our life, or we can allow uh, others' fear, our own fear, to run our life. And we have to have belief and trust that all will be well. And you know,
You-
if you
Go
heal
ahead.
your life and you don't heal your cancer, you've still healed your life, and you can move on to the next realm, to the next adventure and know that you did the best you could because you became the best you could before you exited this existence.
So I see you have a 5-star rating on your book on
Yes.
Amazon. Tell me a testimony or two of people that your book has helped or your coaching has helped them.
I think one of the most wonderful bits of feedback I got as far as some of those reviews, a friend of mine that I've known for 20 or 30 years, she went through some significant rounds of cancer and went through rounds of chemotherapy and radiation. And she wrote, if I had only seen this book when I was in my cancer journey, I would have known I could have made different decisions and I would have made different decisions.
Oh, wow.
And that was powerful because she is in a wheelchair now. The radiation and the chemo ruined her bladder. It caused her to have neuropathy in her feet. And she's a huge reason I wrote the book, to give people options and to allow them to get out of fear so they can make those choices.
You know, yesterday, I have to share this with you because it's so cool. So you know who Florence Schivel, Florence Shin is? Have you ever heard of her?
I don't think so.
Okay. She was a woman philosopher, much like Edgar Cayce, back
Okay. I know Edgar Cayce.
back in the 1800s. And she said something that just hit me like a ton of bricks. Our subconscious, when we're doing affirmations, which we do when we're sick, oh, I am well, thank you, God. Oh, I feel great, thank you, God. There's this little voice that's in our subconscious is going, "Nyeh, nyeh, 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 nyeh. Nyeh, 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 nyeh. You know that doesn't work. You know you've been there before. Nyeh, 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 nyeh."
And you say it anyway.
And you say it anyway.
Over and over again.
However, what she said, and I'd never heard this before, so I need to share it with you now and anybody who's listening.
Okay.
The brain, the subconscious, will not react to a question. And in fact, in our human understanding, the question has to be answered somehow. And what that does is it protects you from the nyeh, 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 nyeh. That tiny voice that we try to quiet, but it's still there.
Yes.
So Florence says what you do, instead of saying, I am well and I am healthy, is, why am I so healthy? Why do I feel so great? Why? To the universe.
There you go.
Why am I feeling so awesome right now? Isn't that cool?
You know, it's really cool. And I have not heard that.
I
but
had
love it.
never heard it before. So thank you, God, for bringing that to my attention.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. And, you know, I think it's akin to limiting beliefs. We tell ourselves, you know, I can tell myself I wrote a good book, but I can't tell you how many times I said, but is it really that good?
Yeah.
Within the same 30 seconds. And so I think it applies to our subconscious. You know, yeah.
Yeah, you can turn that dialogue to, why are so many people buying my book? Why are so many people reading my book?
Yes, yes.
And so it brings it into the present,
Exactly.
which is very powerful, but it also eliminates that, and you can feel the difference in the energy. It eliminates the negative little voice that says, now you know you're not that powerful, you know you're not that good, because the way we react to questions is we're in anticipation or nothing is coming in when we ask a question, except
I'm gonna use that.
Yes.
I'm absolutely gonna use that.
Isn't that great? I just love this.
Well, and you know, cancer patients try to get to the point where they can believe that they're done with cancer. And for me, it took a year to a year and a half. And there's a story in my book about going into the bathroom, opening this big drawer filled with supplements, and I got angry. And I don't ever talk to myself out loud. That day I did. And I said, you know what? You all make me mad. Every time I open this, all I can think about is this word cancer and fear across my forehead. I am done with all of you. I'm done with cancer. I scooped up those supplements, threw them in the trash, and I was done.
Wow. And you embraced your divine power.
Exactly.
You embraced your divine that we all have.
Right. And sometimes to get to a point of absolute belief, we have to take steps along the way. Yeah. My steps along the way were changing my diet, exercising, meditating. And as you change those things and you begin to become feeling better, you start thinking better. So there's a process. And that process took me 1.5 years. And that's okay. And now I don't worry about cancer anymore at all because I'm done with it.
You're done with it.
I'm done
with it. I love that. I'm done with cancer, okay? I'm done with
Been there, done that.
I love that. Now, I know that you are a music lady, and
yes.
we have that in common. And so my brand is music. Now,
Absolutely.
before we go into what's your favorite song and what fires you up, I'd like you to tell everyone listening about your success as an accordion player.
Ah, yes. So my German father insisted on the accordion. I wanted the piano, but everything happens as it should. And I ended up in a music conservatory with 200 other students. And I played with the symphony. I played around the world. And the guy that was my music teacher was actually a young Zig Ziglar. He was an inspiring man. He changed my life. So the accordion was the vehicle to get me to see life differently through this amazing teacher. And my partner and I were both classical accordionists. And at one point, about 10 years ago, we were awarded the best classical team in the United States.
Wow!
And so
I love that. I love that.
So I sometimes think I should write another book, and it should be about the pursuit of excellence, because it's not about what you're doing, it's how you do it.
So do you feel, I know I speak on this all the time, but tell me about your attitude with how music can help in the healing.
Music for me and for my healing, music centers me. It resets me on a day when I was discouraged. I started the day after my surgery in the hospital, having nurses put a headset on so that I could listen to music and I could relax and I could thank God for just one more day.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love the word reset, and I love the word appreciation for one more day.
Right. So today, when I do my gratitude work, which I do every day, I put on a headset, I listen to the same two cellists play this beautiful piece of music. And as soon as I hear the music, it's like Pavlov's dogs, right? As soon as I hear that music, tears start to form in my eyes. Oh. And I go into my heart, and I'm thankful for a person, for my health, whatever it is. But I do gratitude work to the point of tears, and music helps me get there.
So I'm going to ask you the question I love to ask everyone. You got a song that fires you up and defines what you are and who you are?
Absolutely. It's Over the Rainbow by Ava Cassidy.
Oh, yes.
It's a beautiful arrangement. She's great on the guitar, her voice. But when you watch her and listen to her, her whole body is playing this music, and she feels every note. And that's what we need to do with our life, be able to feel every moment, appreciate it, and be thankful for it.
That particular, and I get emotional just thinking about that recording. I mean, here I go. I can feel it coming on. But she had been diagnosed, and she knew she didn't have long. And in that recording, it feels to me that she was looking at heaven, that she was looking at the light of heaven, knowing that she was right in between this life and going to heaven. That space in between is where she delivered that song.
Yeah, to me. I think you're right. It moves me every time I watch it and listen to it.
Yes. Well, I am so happy that we had this conversation.
Me too.
And I encourage people watching this, bring Rebecca to your conference, to women's groups, to any place that you want to hear the message of healing, because she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, let me inspire you.
Yeah, let me inspire
Inspire
you.
you.
Thank you so much for this.
You know what? Thank you for asking me. I've truly enjoyed it, and it's always a pleasure to get to spend time with you, Cindy.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. You too.
All right. Bye bye.